We've all had that one teacher that straight up nobody likes. Like, you can ask someone and no one likes them. Like, the entire school just doesn't like this one teacher. And this teacher for me was my foods teacher. Everybody in the entire school knew that this teacher absolutely sucked at her job and she was not good. Like, every grade did not like this teacher at all, including me. And how I got myself into this mess and a lot of pain. Well, I remember I was trying to pick up my classes, but I didn't know which ones to pick. And I heard people speculating and saying, like, I mean, my sister told me that this teacher was going to retire and I could take foods. And I was like, wow, I really like foods, but I didn't like this teacher because she sounded awful. And I picked the class thinking it was a win-win situation because I thought she was going to retire, but she was in the class as soon as I got in on the first day. And apparently, the previous year, she said she was going to retire. And the following year, she didn't retire. So she either just doesn't like to retire or is a big fat liar. Anyways, let's call this teacher, let's make a fake name, Mrs. Snow, because why not? But anyways, when I first got into the class, I instantly knew that Mrs. Snow absolutely sucked because she started just glaring at everyone that was in the room. And I was like, man, this day's gonna suck. And I started regretting every single life decision that brought me to this moment because I'm stuck with her for like half a year. Anyways, once class started, Mrs. Snow grabbed out a thick pile of paper and just plopped it on a desk. And she's like, everybody get up and grab a piece of paper. Everyone got up awkwardly, like squishing and smooshing into each other. And people are like shoving each other out of the way, trying to get the paper before. I don't know why, but that's weird. And these papers were just like cross puzzles, word searches, just random stuff that you don't need to know. And finally, when an actual paper with a little bit more sense and knowledge than word searches, it was like naming equipment that are in the kitchens. And there was one equipment that is actually not called a spatula, but an egg flipper, which is really weird. And I remember I said spatula once when someone's giving it to me, and she got very pissed at me for saying spatula instead of egg flipper. And after 2 weeks of straight up doing nothing but word searches, we finally actually start cooking, and it was French toast. And I remember I was just cooking the French toast. People were somehow burning it for some reason. I don't know why. But these recipes were very simple, and basically the recipes you would find on Google by just searching in like French toast recipe, and it would be the first result. But anyways, this teacher absolutely sucks. Her tone was super condescending, and straight up, like, she yelled at everyone just because, like, one kid that cracked the egg with one hand instead of two hands. It was just, it was dumb. And I also remember a time where she started mocking someone's work and started making monkey sounds. And it's just like, why would you do that? She's basically the vegan teacher fused with Gordon Ramsay, basically. And I remember her teaching us how to use a knife, and she taught us how to use a knife very late, and we already did a lab where we had to use a knife and people cut themselves. But anyway, she was like, curl your knuckles in so you don't cut off your fingers and stuff. Ma'am, we don't have any fingers left because you taught this so late. Like, I don't have any more fingers and the rest of our classmates don't have any fingers. Yeah, I came here to learn to cook and not discombobulate and decapitate all my body parts. I like my fingers. And Mrs. Snow is one of the most hypocritical people you'll ever meet because, like, I remember this one time she was teaching us how to use a blender, how to turn it on and stuff because it's different and stuff, and how to clean it. And she explicitly said not to, like, run the blender with the soap water when the lid is off. She explicitly said that in a firm and, like, threatening voice and stuff. And I remember this one time she went over to, like, help a station clean their blender for some reason. I don't know. But I remember, like, she turned on the blender without the lid. And it just, like, the water spewed everywhere. It, like, went all over that one kitchen, all over the floor. And she was like, this is the exact reason why I tell you guys to put the lid on when you're doing, like, when you're cleaning your blender. And she just blames it on, like a kid in the station because she was so sure of herself that she did not even do it. And she got that station to clean up her mess. And that one kid cleaning up the station did nothing wrong. They were just in the wrong place, in the wrong time. And here are some of the interesting things I've made along the way in this class. Honestly, some of these don't look that good, and some of these kind of look good. Honestly, this teacher just straight up sucked. I'm so glad I am done with this teacher now. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, a few times I wish I sucker punched her, but we don't talk about that. But I mean, she should have retired a millennia ago. But at least I learned what an egg flipper is.